Welcome back to Rhythm and Rome with Benef, Paul, and Trecia, where we discuss our travel adventures and explore cultural differences, similarities, misconceptions, and all the craziness in between. Get ready for a passport knuckle ride.
You're on an airplane, you're resting. They're just about to wheel out the cart. You're about to get your drinks or your snack or whatever you ordered. And all of a sudden, you see a foot come up onto your armrest over to your left.
Ew.
And you're wondering who in the hell left the gate open. This is what we're talking about today, people. Travel etiquette. What's the deal here?
People want to stretch their legs, I guess, but I don't need to see nobody's foot.
Yeah, but it happens, right?
Well, number one, that's not going to happen with me because the first time I see somebody with their foot near my section, I'm going to politely tell you, remove it. And if you continue to argue, we're both getting kicked off the plane.
Yeah, no, my God.
Because that's not happening.
Yeah, I personally I've seen it. I've seen it where people have taken off their shoes and put their foot up, on a chair.
Foot?
It is at least a socked foot. Yes.
I don't care if it's a sock foot or a non-sock foot.
I have seen that, but I just assumed that the person that was sitting in front of them was acquinted with them.
Okay.
To some point.
Good Lord, yeah. It's nasty.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's just gross.
Oh,
God, yes.
do not be.
Okay.
I
don't know if we can hear that one because that was just horrible.
You cannot do that in post-COVID. You cannot. You need to be masked up. You cannot just be coughing. And people are coughing, and it's disgusting.
Unless you want them to get out of your space, you do it. Because I do that sometimes.
But if they're behind me on the plane, I can't escape the projectile saliva droplets.
So, Trecia, you brought up a great point.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about planes first, I got a whole bunch of those things that I've seen in the past that really concern me and bother me. The foot one, everybody can relate to it. It's just that, thank God, I did not have to experience somebody trying to put their toe jams on my armrest or something like this.
Do you have
that would not happen and go down very well.
So what is your top five things that bother Paul? Let's start there.
On a plane or just the etiquette of it? Yes. Okay.
Well, we'll do planes.
Okay.
You could do plane, you could do trains, you could do whatever.
I would do
For me, well, Paul, you asked Paul, so go ahead, Paul.
Number one, you will not be anywhere near my armrest with anything to do with my area that I'm sitting in. Number two, you will not put your knee in the back of my seat that I'm supposed to recline. I will give you the courtesy to say, hey, I'm about to recline this. Are you all good? And if you tell me no, I'm still going to recline it because that's what it's there for.
Well,
but
don't
I
ask the question, are you all good?
Because I'm being courteous.
That's not a real question.
Doesn't matter. But those are that's number two. Number three, if you're going to cough, you be courteous and do it the correct way and do it away from me and so on. Number four, do not listen to anything or a device without a headset. Oh yes, it happens and it happens a lot. And number five, it's not too much, but it happened more so than anything. And that's someone eating and it drives me nuts. That's my yes.
Okay. I could say that.
How about you guys?
Those are. I think it's pretty similar, but I don't like it. The only other thing, because sometimes there's a child behind me that will be doing shit with the seat, and I really don't appreciate the parent not controlling that because that's just messed up. I would add that.
I agree on all the things that you all are saying also, because I think if you're bringing your kid, you should be able to control them in a sense. And I'm not talking about crying. I'm talking about those things of knocking the
hitting
seats.
of the seat. Yeah.
But the big two for me, I would say is, trying to listen to something. I hate that. I hate that even now when people walk in a store and they're talking and they're FaceTiming the person that's right next to them. And, they're put on some headphones so that I don't have to hear that. Not everybody wants to hear your conversation. I really don't care. I so don't care. The second thing is fixing your hair. I hate if you have long hair or hair in general and you're sitting there, you're in tight quarters. Why are you going to take and flip your hair and put your hand in your hair? And hair is it really is. I don't care that you just washed your hair and you want to fluff it out.
No.
Go to the bathroom. No, you wouldn't. But if that happens, I mean, all kinds of things. Your hair can, your follicles can come out. That is the nastiest thing ever. I think that's not cool. So that's the part and yes, if you're going to eat, try not to, you're going to be in close quarters. Oof. What are you bringing something that smells? I mean, there are people out there that are sensitive to smells or don't like us or adverse to certain taste or whatever. So you're sharing a space for this limited amount of time. At least have some modicum of, courtesy.
At least
we're actually talking about economy side. We're talking about economy seats, not.
Yeah. I'm talking about economy. I'm talking about economy plus. I'm talking about everything. I mean, you were traveling
business
with
class.
people.
You're not going to bring anything. I've never seen anybody.
Try not to bring any smells or
smells.
Bad. Just all kinds of stuff. It's a lot.
Oh my god!
Just a lot to ask for. Well, and I'm just thinking that there needs to be some type of etiquette of what to do when you travel.
I'm going to bring up on top of that traveling etiquette piece, one of Benef's, because we argued about it, so I'm going to bring it up. And I'm sure she's going to yell at me, but I think part of etiquette is presenting yourself like we used to back in the 80s and the 90s. Yes. I don't care.
No
and I've seen, well, it's not necessarily no sweatpants because you can dress up a sweatpant. I'm saying I've seen people with bonnets, leggings. I've seen people with don't look like you just rolled out of bed and say, okay, I'm going to the airport now. That's crazy to me. Honest to God, it is true. And it's not because I live in France.
I think you're talking about Americans because we have a tendency as a population. I agree.
I am talking majority of Americans
to be very,
and British.
very casual.
And British.
I didn't think the British did that.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
And Irish.
I remember someone telling me that they would look at her sideways if she still had her athletic wear on and went to the store.
I've seen it.
You need to change.
Yeah, and it might be a minute part, but I've seen it. But in general, people don't dress like they used to. In general. Is what I'm saying.
I think that has a lot to do, obviously, with TSA, right? Because you can be poked, you can be prodded, you can do a lot of things. I think that's where folks
you don't have to take all that stuff off.
Yes, they felt a little bit, you feel a little betrayed. So therefore you're like, all right, let me just go into war and be done, right? Okay. I'm exaggerating, but I'm trying to put into context because some of our viewers won't probably never had to do that. They never knew that there was a past. Well, if they did, they watched something. They never knew that you dressed up in your Sunday best to go and travel. Yeah. I mean, I used to fly with three-piece suits in the 70s. 80s.
Never done that. We never.
I remember
my mother.
My mother put me in a suit when I flew. I was in a suit. Yes, my mom put me in a suit.
I had on the pants, the vest, the shirt, and a jacket. My mom did not play.
Put me in a suit.
How long?
And my best tube socks.
My mom flew when we flew from New York to Jamaica. My mom put me in a suit. I remember I was 7 years old and I was in a suit.
Is that because you were going to visit family in Jamaica? Or
it didn't matter. You were going to be out in public.
I just remember people were dressed up.
You were going to be out in public. You were going to be representing your family and where you came from. So there was no way that you were going to come and just show up anyhow in any place looking any kind of way. So that has always been the culture, right? That at least that I came from and from a lot of people that are from the Caribbean. Now we have this relaxed thing because we know we have to take off stuff. We have to take off shoes. We have to take off coats. We have to do all this different stuff to get through security, right? So we're having to, so we feel like, why get dressed up? Why make the hassle when?
I mean, I think.
But I still think you still can do it. You still can do it.
But even more than that, I just think that today's culture is just not. It's more casual. People every day are just more casual. But the athleisure wear has really, changed the way people dress.
That is the problem because it has been so at leisure and mixed in too much.
So here's the thing, Paul. I have a question because you go to the gym. Do you just come home on the metro in your gym clothes, or do you change?
I used to do that a lot when I was in America, but in France, it's shunned upon.
Yeah, it's shunned upon.
They're gonna look at you like a homeless person.
In Japan as well, and it took me maybe 3 times for my friend to be like, to be like, you're not gonna change? Are you just gonna wear the same? You know, and I was like, yeah, just this 2 stops.
Yeah, but
And
Paul,
it took finally, yeah.
Well, yeah, sorry, Benef, to get that.
No, but it took me 3 times to get that. But these women, we were like sweaty. No, but look, we were sweaty, and they were putting on like pantyhose.
Why would you be sweaty?
Nice
You take a
slacks.
shower. You take a shower.
No, there was no shower. This was a dance class.
Yeah.
So they changed, but they were. How are you going to put pantyhose on?
That's going to be really hard.
Sweaty ass. It's like 80. There's no air conditioning, so it's 85 degrees. Drenched, and now I have to put on. I'm not putting on nice clothes. So what I did was just bring different, clean athleisure wear clothes to wear, because I was like, I am not putting on and funkifying up some nice clothes that I'm just going to have to go and wash because I'm disgusting right now. It was weird.
Unfortunately, in France, it's shunned upon, and you should not dress that way.
Get real for a second, because if I'm wearing nice clothes on the plane, something that I might wear, I don't know, to a nice restaurant.
Dinner, yeah.
Okay, we go up, the pressure gets worse, and now I'm fucking bloated and uncomfortable. Yes, it's real. So that's why I don't wear tight ass
What are you talking about?
Pants.
I've never heard of this.
Well, welcome to fucking reality. People get bloated from being on the plane.
I don't mean to laugh, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, gas. So it's called gas.
People get gas. They get
farting. You're gonna say fart on a plane? Hell no! Oh my god! You don't want to wear sweats, but you would rather fart on a plane in a confined.
But he's fashionable, Benef. But he's friggin' fashionable.
Hold on. Let's get that. Fool. Fashionable farting fool.
Wait a minute, excuse me. Time out. So, and this is, I'm hoping we have listeners. A female. No. Female versus male. Because you just told me is that you don't fart on the plane. Even if it's hours, you're not farting. So you're basically saying the whole time you're not farting on the plane.
So
I'm going to tell you I do because that's natural.
It's gross though. I will fart if I'm in business class and contained, right? And but if I'm sitting next to someone, no, I hold it in and it's uncomfortable and it goes
or
up,
go to the bathroom.
Goes,
okay, can we get back to traveling, please?
No, let's get back to the human nature part on the plane.
Well, what about belching? Whatever. Are you going to smother your burp or you're just going to let it go out? How is belching different than farting?
You can control it.
You could control farting too.
I just belched and you did not hear me. I just belched again. You did not hear me.
But my point is, you can. So you're saying yes, you can belch. What about people snoring louder?
I hate that. God. That's different. That's different.
But they can't control it because they're asleep.
They're asleep.
Well, no. This is true story. I have asked the flight attendant to wake up an older guy because he was snoring so loud. I had my headset on and he was in front of me, but I could not sleep because he was snoring too loud. And the flight attendant, obviously they probably have dealt with this in the past with other passengers and slightly kind of waked him up a little bit and explained to him what the issue was. So I think things that are human nature, it's just human nature. Now, that has nothing to do with dressing up. When I say dress up, I don't mean dressing your Sunday best. I'm talking about look presentable.
But the argument there is that I should be able to dress how I want to dress and be how I want to be, or appear how my appearance. But that doesn't say anything about who I am as a person. You
absolutely
should be able to look past that, right?
Trecia, you're absolutely right. But again, society don't look at it that way.
I think that's a generational thing, and the way that we approach this is that we come from a generation where we're used to dressing a certain way because we don't want people's first impressions of us to be anything but presentable. Meanwhile, the Gen Zs, Gen XY, whatever it is, they're like, you need to see who I am. You need to dig deeper to find out who I am. So I think that's where our two worlds are clashing in there. But as far as travel etiquette goes, I think that there's certain things, like we said, our top 5s of things that are annoying. These are things that you can control because you have to remember you're sharing a space with other people. Mm-hmm. And that's just common courtesy.
I think that's where the clothing part comes into effect too as well. I mean, and I was waiting for you to say it, but I was just saying people do judge, unfortunately. And if you give them more space to judge things, which people are going to judge anyway, they're going to do it like myself. We all do.
But we're going to have that viewer or the listener that's going to tell you, well, Paul, I really don't care what you think about me because of what I have
totally
on.
Fine. That's totally fine.
Judge me all you want to.
Judge
totally
people
fine.
for their
Totally
clothing
fine.
unless the clothing is like visibly soiled and smelly.
No. So you're okay with seeing somebody in a Daisy Duke shorts and little top? Because I've seen that. You're okay with that, and you're not going to judge.
I don't care. No, do they?
Okay.
I mean, I don't care what they wear as long as they don't.
What does that say though, Paul? If you're wearing a Daisy Duke shorts and a crop top, what does that say?
I don't know. You tell me, Trecia. What does it tell you?
I'm asking you. You're the one who said it, so I'm trying to ask. What does that mean to you?
I just mean that it's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate for what?
For traveling.
Okay.
So if I'm going for whatever and there's someone, I only use because I use the typical stereotypical thing because I've seen it also in Miami flying. Someone is and when I say Daisy Dukes, I'm talking about Daisy Dukes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you might need to explain that for some people who have not seen it.
Exactly.
Daisy Dukes, but I mean, it's a little bit where flaps of the cheeks of the
butt cheeks are coming out. So it's not just shorts. You're talking about butt cheeks.
Daisy Dukes with cowboy boots on, with a bikini top on. Now, okay, that's fine. That's your prerogative to do that, but expect to be judged. No,
because the planes be cold.
No, because they're going to Florida, so they dressed appropriately for the weather they're going to.
Plane. Yeah, but
you're on the plane. So,
but why do you feel the need to judge anyway?
Because we're human beings and we judge. That's what we do.
I know, but you could try not to.
But I don't think you answered my question though. What does that say?
Trying, we do. What does it say about
what does that say about them though? If you're judging, what does that say about them?
I have no idea what it says about them because I'm not asking them what it says about them.
I know, but when you look at this woman and you see her in the Daisy Dukes with the crop top,
what do you think? What do you think about her?
I think she should put on some more damn clothes is what I think.
Yeah, but why? Why would that be offensive?
Because it might be no, because it might be inappropriate because you have young kids around who's going to gawk. You have other people around who's going to be drinking. And now she's going to be vulnerable, unfortunately, because society is not playing like an adult. So I'm just saying for her safety, because there are people out there that are just idiots.
Well, exactly what they say in the Middle East. They say the woman that she can't be seen because the men are can't control themselves.
Like you can't control the men can't control themselves.
But they cannot. We know that. Benef, we know that. I'm talking from a man's point of view. Do you guys want to hear it or not?
That means that gives them the right to attack her because they can't.
Who said that they're attacking her? They said that they're judging her. Judging doesn't mean that they're actually.
Well, you just said she was going to be vulnerable and her safety was an issue.
She potentially could be vulnerable, meaning the potentials are there are people that are drunk. You see it every day in the plane.
Similar to what you've said in the past about having to dress a certain way as a black man.
Exactly.
If you dress this way, but that's not fair to you now, is it?
It is not. And guess what I still have to do? I have to still check myself because it's still not fair to me. And because it's still not fair to me, I still do what? I still check myself because I don't want to end up 6'6". And it's the same thing in the same example. It's the same thing with the woman. I'm not saying that she could do that, but she's just going to have to think about the consequences of a drunk person potentially wanting to harass her. And now she's going to have to deal with all that. I'm not saying she needs to change anything. I'm just saying here are some of the possibilities. I said the way people dress, number one, people are going to judge because that's what humans do. Regardless if you like it or not. Everyone is judging each and last one of us. That's what I said.
I guess what we're not agreeing with, and
it's okay to not agree.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to tell you, I think where the disconnect is. And again, Benef, you let me know if I'm hitting it wrong. It's just that I think I have a problem with the fact that you feel that they need to change their appearance.
That's not what I said.
Because of a potential issue that may happen because of someone else's ignorance or irresponsibility.
And that's not what I said. And I was very clear of what I said. What I said was people judge regardless of whatever you wear or whatever whatever you think is appropriate or not. You're going to be judged.
Okay.
What you need to be able to understand is that you're going to get, you may, not always, you may have some kind of person that come and say something. Good example are people that are wearing political affiliated products. Somebody might be offended by it. So that means that somebody judged you for wearing that product and say, I don't want that on the plane. I've seen people get kicked off the plane for that. We all have. So
Paul,
I don't understand how that's
but
not
you
clear.
said that when you're thinking, you're like, she should cover herself up because it might be a safety issue for her.
That's
I
me
think you're
saying
not
that in my
did
mind.
say that. Okay.
I did say that. I'm saying that internally, and I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to judge internally because we all do that.
I did not say that you were not allowed to judge. What I was stipulating is how it could come out, or how others could perceive that as you saying that she needed to cover up.
How is others going to perceive what I'm judging when I'm
because
not
we literally just asked you, and you said, so we're talking about the viewers
but
and
I'm
listeners
saying,
on the show
I'm judging,
now.
No, but I'm saying what I'm judging internally. How are you going to understand?
Yeah, but you didn't say that internally. But you
I
didn't say
sure
that
did.
internally.
I said it in the beginning. I said what we do is we all judge on what people are wearing or doing, regardless. It might be not even like mindful that we're even doing it, because that's what we do as society, and we all do it. That's all I said. And I'm saying there are consequences when we, just like our Benef you mentioned, with how I have to check myself when I go out. I do that because I know that there are consequences and I have to prepare for it. That's all I said. Same thing with the woman or a man who maybe dress provocative.
I think where this becomes sensitive for me is that women have been blamed for being raped because of how they were dressed.
I know.
And
I agree.
Is just
I agree, but you guys harped on me because I said it, and maybe I didn't say it fully enough or clarification more to say that regardless, women, it sucks. You guys are judged every stinking day on everything, regardless. And guess what? When it comes to the travel etiquette, women are judged, and this is a fact. I don't remember I want to say it was something like 60-something% of women are judged more aggressively when it comes to what you guys wear.
I mean, I believe that.
Anywhere. I agree with what y'all saying, but I'm hoping you guys see where I'm coming from, because I ain't the only one. Number one, I'm going to fart on the goddamn plane. Number two, you're not going to put your foot in my space. Those are my two pet peeves.
Okay.
Farting.
I'm joking. That's not my two pet peeves.
As you can see, this is definitely a hotly contested definition of what travel etiquette. But I think what we did agree on is that our top five, as far as what our top five were, our top two in this particular topic, is that we want, number one reason is we want everyone to respect each other's space when you're traveling, whether you're on a train, plane, automobile, wherever it is. Mm-hmm. Remember that you're sharing the space with many people, and not everyone is going to understand certain cultures or certain, I don't want to say cultures, but certain,
behaviors.
Yeah. And so you try, just try to look out for yourself and remember that you're sharing space with others. So if you like this topic and you want to make a comment, certainly please comment below. We want to hear it. We want you guys to message us and let us know, because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot to say on this particular topic. But more importantly, we want you to like and share. So if you see anyone that feels the same way, but they're not a subscriber on our channel, please let them do so. And we will see you next time.
Let's see.
Stories untold in every tale.